What's going on, reviews? It's your boys.
It's actually kind of PG. I'm proud of you. What was reviews short for?
Jews. We're the Don Rickles of reviews.
He's Mike!
And he's Mary Poppins, y'all!
And we just saw well, we didn't just see Guardians.
Saw it last week.
Just saw Guardians last week.
Yeah.
So, if you haven't seen the title, this is going to be our spoiler talk.
Mm-hmm.
So if you haven't seen the movie and
Yup.
you don't want it to be spoiled,
Tell him.
go check out our other non-spoiler review.
Oh, he said it.
Probably right below this one.
Mm-hmm.
And then come back when you've seen it.
Uh-huh. Come back, y'all.
I actually think the story in this was much better than the first one.
Yeah, I agree.
So, the fact that Groot was the fucking cutest thing on the planet Earth. How the movie starts might be my favorite 10 minutes in all of movie history.
Dude, genius, too, because it saves money on special effects because it's in the background and you don't have to do it fully. And it's like, oh, fucking genius. That is just a brilliant opening.
It was fantastic.
You know what's great, too? They do the callback to the Dave Bautista Groot thing, the Baby Groot thing, in the fight. And later on in the movie, Taserface is like, they're like, should we kill the little twig thing? No, he's too cute. They fucking acknowledge it.
Dude, if his merchandising doesn't sell over $1 trillion, I'm gonna be upset.
The world is a sad place if it doesn't.
Yeah, but I mean, Chris Pratt acting like Chris Pratt in his cute little ways, love him.
Yep.
So, what were some of your strengths?
Yondu.
Yondu is great.
Yondu probably has and you know what? They don't do a lot with it. I want to make this clear. The reason why I think this movie is so fucking good is because they take little things, they sprinkle it in here and there, and it tells this overarching story over 2 hours that is probably all of 10 minutes of screen time. Mm-hmm. And it's basically that Yondu realizes, spoiler, Kurt Russell is the villain of this movie. Ego is a villain. I knew this from the comics, Ego's a villain. And I assume many people didn't know that. So when the twist comes that really Kurt Russell is this, like, essentially space Hitler, and has been taking all these kids that were his offspring and trying to see if they had the celestial gene and killing them, and it turns out that Yondu was the one bringing him the kids, didn't bring him Quill because he found out what he was doing to the kids, and raised Quill as his own son. And Yondu's line of just, I'm your daddy, boy. Mm-hmm. Like, almost tears. Like, yeah. They sprinkle it in. There's one shot of just him teaching him how to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible.
I did like how Star-Lord and Eagle the Living Planet were playing catch.
Yeah, that was really good.
Think about just like father and son playing catch.
Yeah,
think about really good. Think what that means for those two characters. Yondu was kind of a sleeper hit for me. Like, it was fantastic. Like, in the first one, it was Bautista.
You remember we got in a huge argument because I said, isn't Yondu, in the first movie, isn't Yondu basically his stepdad? And you're like, no. Like, he's not like that at all in the first movie.
I don't remember that argument, but it sounds like me.
It was our buddy Drew's basement. I remember vividly. You called me an idiot.
I always call you an idiot.
I know, but I was fucking right. 3 years later, my fucking argument comes to fruition.
But Bautista was a sleeper hit for me in the first one.
Yep.
This one, Yondu was a sleeper hit for me in the second one. Mm-hmm. They keep finding little roles for these characters that work.
How good was Nebula?
Oh, very good.
Like, what they do with her story, like, you always had to win. I needed a sister. You always had to win. Mm-hmm. Like, incredible.
So these movies are known for their Easter eggs. Mm-hmm. What did you notice in this one? Biggest
one, obviously Stan Lee cameo talking to the Watchers. First of all, it's the first time you see the Watchers. Second of all, that's been a long time fan theory that Stan Lee is Uatu, the Watcher. Mm-hmm. And they call him in the credits Watcher Informant. But I guarantee you at some point that'll take further shape.
That was actually my favorite one.
Yeah.
Because I love Original Sin, the comic book storyline, which is all about the Watchers. Mm-hmm. And oh man, when I saw those...
That's the one with White Nick Fury, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when I saw their big-ass heads on screen. I loved it. Yeah. I fell in love.
The original Guardians. That was cool. Stallone. Ving Rhames, Michelle Yeoh, and Miley Cyrus voices one of the robots.
And they also...
And Michael Rosenbaum, by the way, who James Gunn was like, he plays a very important role. And I'm like, that crystal dude's got to be Michael Rosenbaum. And it is. So I was happy about that.
The other Easter egg of Eternity. Remember how when...
I heard about this. I remember seeing it in the movie. I didn't understand it at the time.
So when Ego was like, I'm going to show you the world, and he kind of makes his eyes all starry-eyed. Mm-hmm. And then Star-Lord goes, I see eternity. Wait, it was eternity, right? I think it was eternity.
They say eternity.
Yeah. I see eternity. Eternity is a character in the comic books. He is essentially God. He created everything.
This movie is completely separate from the overarching MCU.
Right.
It takes place like 6 months, I believe they said, after the first Guardians. So this is actually before Civil War and before Ant-Man. Like, probably right around the time of Age of Ultron. What's really interesting about this, and a lot of people didn't understand this, Groot died in the first movie. This is a new Groot. Baby Groot is a new Groot. That Groot sacrificed himself. This Groot has none of those memories. Completely different. So that's why it's very much a different personality of Groot.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think about that? Like, I don't think it really ever clicked for me that Groot dies in the first movie.
No, I don't think I ever did either until I read what you read.
Yeah.
And then, but I'm okay with it. Like,
works.
Yeah, because regardless if it's the old one or a new one, like it still hits on all cylinders.
That means James Gunn has effectively done something that Joss Whedon tried to do in 2 movies that he couldn't do. He killed off characters with actual fucking meaning behind it.
Mm-hmm.
James Gunn kills off Groot in the first movie. Again, spoilers. Kills off Yondu in this movie and gives him an awesome send-off, which was... Oh, God, what were they saying? Like, I guess, like... That was supposed to be reminiscent of something at the end, but I forget what they said it was. But it's like all the Ravager ships come in, and they start doing send-offs, like fireworks in space.
Mm.
You know, what... Drax in that spaceship falling through the planet shouldn't have been in the movie.
Why not?
Because that is so unrealistic, even in this unrealistic world of Marvel.
Yeah.
Because Drax is, we've seen, get his ass kicked in the first movie. Drax is not Drax the Destroyer like he is in the comics. He's not. He's Drax the Comedian.
Which is actually right in the next one. He's supposed to be more Drax the Destroyer.
I hope so, because why call him Drax the Destroyer?
I mean, Drax the Comedian, I guess we're calling him, is funny and hilarious. I mean, he just doesn't kick...
Show him fuck some...
Right.
He can go toe-to-toe with the Hulk. He rips out Thanos' fucking heart. Like...
So, I mean, I think they're going to move towards Drax being more the Destroyer, and I think that's also why they're making Groot older.
Dude, teenage Groot? Adam Warlock, obviously, setting up for the third movie, which they've teased since the first one.
Which, was that a mess-up in the first one? Because you saw his...
I asked a buddy at work about this, because... Here's the thing. There are 2 Infinity Gauntlets, right?
Right.
Kevin Feige confirmed there's the one in Thor's, in Odin's vault, and then there's the one that Thanos has. Both for different hands. So are there 2 Adam Warlocks? Now, here's my question. Is one of the cocoons Magus, and the other one Adam?
What I think one... I don't think they're doing
Magnus.
Magus. I don't think they're doing Magnus. I think what it is it's like almost like a shell. Like Adam Warlock has 2, and that's an old one, and now he's in this new one that the gold people have. What are the gold people's names?
Wasn't the pod broken at the end of Guardians 1?
Right, that's what I'm saying. I think it's an old one. It's like an old shell. And now I think he's in this new
reason
one.
why I think it's Magnus, the one in Guardians 1 is gray, this one is gold. Which in the comics, Adams is gold. Magnus is a gray character.
So, I don't know.
That's why I was
wondering. So maybe there's 2. But either way, they teased... they actually said his name finally.
Yeah, Adam.
Adam Warlock. Which I'm so pumped.
Gunn really wanted him in this movie.
He wanted in it?
He had a script written with Adam Warlock in this movie.
That'd be dope.
But then he realized that he could do the story he told with this a lot better if he wasn't in it.
Mm.
So, yeah.
But, so 5 post-credit scenes.
Definitely stay for those.
So, sit tight afterwards.
All right, that'll wrap up our spoilers review. If you want to hear some more about this movie, obviously go back to our first video and check out our non-spoilers review where we get into depth about the movie without ruining it.
As always, He is Mike.
And he's Mary Poppins, y'all! Keep it tight, reviewers.